Hello, I've tried this video 2 or 3 times. This is going to be part 2 of my Eastgate photo shoot, but what the problem is, I go to edit and I get too lengthy. So what I'm going to do instead is do one photo. I'll show you all the photos I'm going to do, but I'm going to do one photo per video, so you'll need to come back and check out the other videos. So I'm not going to leave this screen on. It's a snowy day. I'm looking out the window. It's a snowy, cold day, so it's a good day to edit. So let me shut this screen off. And here are the, actually it's only 3. This is the photograph we're going to do today. The next video will be this one, and then the last video will be where I shot this sequence here, slow moving water or slow shutter speed, and then fast moving water, and how I combine those. If I go back here, I had a spot on my lens right there, so I'm going to have to crop those out. But let's go to the first photo, and I'm going to work this as quickly as possible. Here is the finish post-production photo, and there's one step in here that gets pretty technical, but I'm going to hit the backslash key. Oop, got to go to developer, backslash key, and there's I've got some adjustments here. Let me zero those out completely. I'm double clicking the word tone, presets. That growling noise you hear behind me is our dog Piper, which you saw in the video when I took these pictures. I'm going through and zeroing everything out. Now, I do have presets that I use, but I want to show you exactly what I do that's in a preset. If you do things more than 5 times in Lightroom, it's time to make a preset. Okay, so what I do is I start in my basic panel. I'll take my highlight slider up to about 70 and my shadow plus 70. Okay, and then, and it doesn't have to be exact, then I look at my exposure, and you can see that it opened up some of the shadows and gave me some blue skies. So I'm going to open up, whoops, I should do it the way you're supposed to. I open up the exposure, something like that. Now I'm doing this visually. There's no guide numbers. Okay, then I'm going to add some clarity, about 20. And I'm going to add some vibrance. I stay away from the saturation. Now my Lightroom's going to be acting a little slower because I'm recording this video. Okay, then I go down to lens correction. I always click on remove chromatic aberration, and I always enable profile corrections. And you can see this is an icon. There's several underneath here that you can choose. Okay. Then I go to, let's go to details, and I sharpen about 30. Okay, and then I do what I call masking. If I hold down my option key on a Mac, I'm not sure what the keystroke is on PC, but I'll hold down the option key, and anywhere there's white, that'll be where it's sharpened. I don't want sharpening in my sky, so there, that's what I do. Where it's white, it's going to sharpen. Where it's black, it's not going to sharpen. I let go. And then let's go back to our basic panel. Now here's another trick that I do. I hold down my option key, go to my whites, and the screen will turn black, and I'm going to go to the right. And I keep going right till I see a pure white. I'm starting to see blues, and right there I see a little bit of white. So I'm going to let go. Now I'm going to go to my blacks and go the opposite direction to the left till I get a pure black. Okay, you can see right there, I get a pure black. So now I have good, what do I want to say, tonal range, pure white and pure black. Now I messed up on this photo. If you look down here, instead of a raw image, I accidentally changed my camera to a JPEG. But a JPEG won't have as much latitude in or Lightroom, but it still works. You can still process it. Now, one thing that probably one of the most powerful tools, and I've already cropped this. Let me show you. I hit the R key. I didn't like this branch over here on this side, so I've cropped it in. I like a 4x6 crop, but what I see is it looks like the water's crooked to me. So I'm going to tilt the screen, or tilt the crop. I like that a little better, and I have a little leaf right there, so I'm going to pull it in just a little more. Maybe that tree out of the corner too. Okay. And I double click on it, and the crop tool, like I said, is very powerful. Now, I think I've added a graduate filter, and you can see I pre-made one called Sky. I'm going to take it out so you can see. I'm going to delete it, and you can see how much I changed. Now if I bring it back, you can see it added a little blue to the sky and give me a little detail. And I did use a luminance mask, and I'll talk about that later, how you make a luminance mask, because if I take the luminance mask back and wait, see how blue this tree right here, all these trees get? So I use a luminance mask, and luminance is a fancy word for lights and darks. So right there is what I'll do. Now I'm going to go back up to my basic panel. Let's go back to right here. I'm going to close the graduate, and I'm going to add a little more yellow to the scene. Oops, a little too much. There we go. And then the only other thing I'm going to do is, Ansel Adams, a great black and white photographer, always burned in the edges or darkened the edges of his print, and that's what I'm going to do. For dramatic, I'm going to pull this way up, and I'm going to take my feather all the way down so we see a sharp line. Okay, so I just want the edges, and this is, I've done this several times. That's kind of what I want. Now I'm going to feather that, and it's way too dark, so I'm going to pull that down. I think around 12, 14, something like that. Okay, so there is the image, edited pretty quick in Lightroom. I'll show you, this is the after, this was the before. After, before, what a difference. Nice sharp image, and come back again and we'll talk about this image, and I'll record a video on how I post-process this one. Thanks for watching. Bye.